Okay, so welcome to my YouTube channel, Future of Elections. So in this video, we'll talk about this topic, make or buy decision. So the whole idea of this thing is just straightforward. That is, you are part of a company, so you have the option to either produce a product or you buy it. So what should you consider to make it or you buy it? Now this is the main aim here. So the aim of this is to be able to make decision. In fact, the final answer, there are two examples in these videos. In this video, what like it's the same thing with what was done in class. So the final answer, this thing you will see it in the final answer, decision. Okay, so the aim is to be able to make decision based on what? Based on cost statement. This thing you have here, this is the cost statement. So I will explain what the cost statement means. Now, based on cost statement, either to do what? To make or to buy a product. Once again, the aim is to be able to make decision based on cost statement, either to make or buy a product. Let's consider the following examples. So question one. Now, this is the whole question, okay? Everything here, this table here, and this stuff here. This is the whole question, okay? Now, ABC Company Limited has manufactured the parts number. ABC can be any name, okay? Any name of any company. So they just use ABC to represent it, okay? Then manufactured the part number 707. This number is just number of the product number, like part number. Okay, it doesn't mean you are not using this in this thing, should not be in your calculation. It's just part number. Okay, so ABC Company Limited has manufactured the part number 707 and the following costs reported. So all this thing you have here is a report of the product, the part number rather. Sorry, the product, which is the parts. Okay, now cost details. So this thing here is the cost detail, meaning what we spend our money on in producing these parts, all these things we have here. So direct material, which means the money you spend or on buying the different things you need to make it. Okay, then labor, of course, direct labor, manpower, you have to pay people, okay, wages, pay your workers and things like that. Okay, and then variable manufacturing. Variable manufacturing, those things that changes but they are required to make the product, like electricity. The cost may change, electricity, maybe water, I think so, but those things you need to manufacture that can be changed. Then this one are those things you need to manufacture that cannot be changed, whether you are buying or you are not buying. These things, like whether you are buying or you are not buying, you have to pay the owner of the company. Okay, but just have it in mind that there are things you have that are fixed. Okay, so now cost per unit, then total cost for 10,000 units. All these are part of the equation. Please, you are not solving for these things yet. These are all part of the equation. So ROS is just rupees, currency, Indian currency. So for direct materials, we are saying what? 2 rupees. So if there are 100 units, 2 rupees multiplied by 100 units, sorry, 10,000 units, please open your eye. So 2 rupees multiplied by 10,000 units will give you what? 20,000 rupees. Now I should have added the ROS in this other one, but no problem. 3 rupees multiplied by 10,000 units, this will not give you a total of 30,000 rupees. Okay, serious brother, but you get the idea. Okay, if you have nothing here, and you want to fill it in, this multiply this, give you what you have here. This multiply this, give you what you have here. Are we following? Just put them back. Now this is the table. Good. Total, add everything, give you this. Add everything, give you this. Good. Now part of the question. Okay, the fixed manufacturing overhead, fixed, this is what we are talking about now, which is what? 40,000 rupees. Now The fixed manufacturing overhead cost include what? Include depreciation, property taxes. I should have mentioned this thing. I was talking about paying manufacturer. These are the things. These are the fixed things. Property taxes, assurance, bro. That's insurance, guy. Okay, is that correct? Nah. Okay. Then supervisor salary. Oh, that's correct. And allocated other expenses. All these ones they are what? Fixed. Now another manufacturer, that is a different company now, offer to supply the same parts, this product to supply the same parts for what? 10 rupees per unit. 10 rupees. Now, should ABC company, which is this is our first company here, should they make or should they buy the parts if there is no what alternative use? I think there are some other things in the notes, but it's not that clear. However, with what we have here, we can still work on it. So to the solution. Now the solution, we need another table, statement showing total relevant costs. Now the solution contains what? 4 columns. The first column is the same as what you have in the equation, okay, which is cost detail. Then the second column is consideration of making it. The third column is consideration of what? Buying it. And the fourth column is the difference between what? Making and buying. All right. Now direct material, that one is what? 2 rupees. It's at 2 rupees. We got that too from here. And direct labor 3 rupees. We got that value from here. So it's like we're just putting the values there. Okay. Now if you observe, of course all of them, they are all what? 10,000 units, 10,000 units. Okay, because what do we have here in the equation is what? 10,000 units. So that's what we are working with now. For direct material, 2 rupees multiplied by this, of course 20. Okay, now this is for making it. For buying it, we do not talk about materials. Okay, so the difference between making and buying is what? 20,000 rupees. Okay, now for direct labor, of course, when you want to make it, you have labor. When you are buying it, no labor. So difference 30,000 rupees. All right. Now for variable manufacturing, at this one, of course, the same thing like what I explained in the first two. Now for overhead costs, please guys, check this out. After variable manufacturing, you have what? Fixed. But here we are not considering what? Fixed. Why? Because whether you buy it or not, whether you buy or you make, you still have to pay property tax. You still have to do what? Insurance. All these other things are still there, whether you are making it or you are buying it. Thus, we do not what? Consider it. We consider it what? Irrelevant. Okay, so that's why it's not here. Even this overhead cost of 2 rupees, even that overhead cost of 2 rupees, even the overhead cost of 2 rupees is not considered in what? Making or in what? Buying. Now buying costs is what? At 10 rupees. Where is this 10 rupees coming from? Part of the equation. Look at it here. Another manufacturer offered to supply the same parts for what? 10 rupees by unit. Okay, is that okay? Okay, so okay, come back now. Please, are we clear with that? So that means for making, of course, there will be nothing here. There is no buying cost for making according to the equation. But for buying, to buy, of course, the buying cost will be what here, which is what? 10 rupees multiplied by what? Multiplied by 10,000 units, and that will give us what? 100 rupees. Oh, pop. So the difference between these two will be what? This. Now, total relevant cost for making is what? 70. For buying is what? 100. This minus this will give you what? 30. That means it is cheaper to make it. So your final answer, decision, as the making cost is 70,000 rupees, is lesser than buying costs 100,000 rupees. The part should be what? Made and save 30,000 rupees. Save 30,000 what? Rupees. Are we together now? Yes. Now, this question is supposed to end here in peace. However, it continues to this part. Continuation of question 1. If, note, if, okay, if, there's a lot, an assumption, okay, an assumption. If ABC company can produce new product XYZ, this is just like the name of a product, XYZ, with the part and will generate 20,000 rupees contribution margin. New product sale revenue minus new product variable cost. See, do you change the previous decision? What does this thing mean? It means that if you buy this thing, where okay, now this is the cost of buying, right? If you buy the product and from buying it you now do what? You rent or you produce another product that generates what? 20,000. What did you actually spend? If you buy, if it costs you 100 to buy and you make profit of what? 20, it means you actually spent 100 minus 20, which is what? 80. Okay, so the solution now will be what? Statement showing total net relevant cost. So the cost detail to make it is 70. We've known that one before. So the obtaining cost for making is what? 70. The obtaining cost for buying is what? 20. But the rent income for making we did not rent, for buying we rent. Now in case you are wondering, if I make am I feel rent am now? Yeah, that sounds nice. However, I said we are working based on what? Assumption. I was thinking about this in class, so even somebody by my side was even thinking about it. Also, like, if you make it, you can rent it now. Yeah. But of course, we're working based on assumption right now. So the assumption here is that when you make it, there is no rent. When you buy it, you rent. All right. So that means the total net relevant cost is what? For making is what? 70. For buying, 100 minus 20, that's 80. But even at that, the making is still what? Cheaper. So final answer, decision. As the making cost is 70,000 rupees, is lesser than buying cost 80,000 rupees, the part should be what? Made and save 10,000 rupees. Okay, so our decision remains the same. However, the difference here it's just different. Okay, so that's question 1. Question 2 now, similar to question 1. In fact, guys, if you observe carefully, everything here, I will not even explain this again. Everything here is the same with what you have in question what? 1 is the same. What's the difference? What is the difference? The difference is this. Look at this paragraph. This paragraph is different from what? It's different from question 2's paragraph. This is where the difference is. Okay, now the fixed manufacturing overhead costs include depreciation, property tax, yes, insurance, yes, supervisor salary and allocated other expenses. This first line is even the same with what? Question 1's first line. Okay, question 1's first line is the same. Now this is where the difference shows up. Are we in question 2? Yes. What's happening? Okay, this is where the difference shows up. Another manufacturer offers to supply the same parts for 10 rupees per unit. Okay, the same. I found a difference. The supervisor salary amounting to 10,000 rupees can be avoided. Note, can be what? Avoided if purchase parts from outside supplier. In question 1, we did not say any amount can be avoided if you buy. Whether you buy or you don't buy, the amount applies in question 1 for everything. But in this case now, we say, yes, it is fixed. Look at the fixed cost here. Fixed manufacturing overhead cost, 40, Abi. But if you buy, if you buy, you can avoid 10,000 rupees. So, are we getting it now? So that means your solution, look at this table, exactly the same as question 1's table solution. Oh, there is a difference. This one has what? Fixed manufacturing costs inside making. Because for buying, if you buy, you do not have to pay the supervisor that 10 rupees again. That means we should include this in our what making costs. But in question one, it was not included. Did you observe that? In question one, we did not include fixed manufacturing. But in question two, we have to do what? Include it. Exactly. So every other thing remains the same. Total will now be what? 80. Instead of question one that was 70. The rest part remains the same. So that means this minus this should give us what? 20. 80 minus 100 give us 20. What am I saying now? 80,000 minus 100,000 give you 20,000. So the decision now will be what? As the making cost of 80,000 rupees is lesser than buying cost of 100,000 rupees, the part should be made and save 20,000 rupees. Are we together now? So this brings us to the end of make or buy. Now I can take this out. Okay, so thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.